both the Cleveland Browns and the Houston Texans have a laundry list, if you will, of injuries going into their playoff game on Saturday. And part of that is just the time of year. Part of it's bad luck. But these two teams have been destroyed by the injury bug. We will get into that. But also, the Texans have a little message, if you will, on Browns wide receiver Amari Cooper ahead of the wild card game. And I want to talk about the importance of getting Amari Cooper back in the lineup, and it might not be exactly what you think. Before we do that, in this channel, we love talking about teams that are kind of ignored by the national media. With the Cleveland Browns, we've really found a kinship with y'all. We really have. We're Detroit Lions fans, so we understand your path. You are us of the AFC. Our franchises are so similar, it almost hurts sometimes. So we love talking about the Browns. And we love that the Browns and the Lions are both in the playoffs this year. Browns-Lions Super Bowl, let's go. All right, but without further ado, let's talk about Cooper. As you know, he put up a franchise record game of 265 yards against the Texans just a few weeks ago. Browns won that game comfortably. C.J. Stroud was not playing. All right, the Texans came around and D'Amico Ryan said Amari had an outstanding game, some of the best catches I've seen all year, even though guys were in coverage and in position. He had an outstanding game. We just have to be in position to cover him better. All right, I'm going to start with that quote, and I'm going to go a little deeper on that, and then we're going to talk about what the game could look like and what the usage for Amari Cooper could look like as well. So I have two thoughts on this. But first, D'Amico Ryan starts by saying some of the best catches I've ever seen, even though our guys were in position and in coverage. Okay, so he starts by saying that we're in position and that we're in coverage. But then he kind of flips and he says he had an outstanding game. We just have to be in position to cover him better. But he just said you were in position. So here's kind of the way that I take this quote. And I'll let you look at it while I'm talking about it. It's right here. Here's the way that I take this quote. We liked our defensive game plan. It made sense to us. And Amari Cooper just was better. So here's the question you have to ask. Will the Houston Texans actually change anything? Or do they believe that they did it well? If you go back and you watch some of the catches that he had, some of them were open, some of them were remarkable catches. And Amari Cooper, after the game, kind of talked about, hey, I'm a good receiver. I feel like if you give me an opportunity one-on-one, nobody can guard me. He's like, I feel like with his technician, with the routes, the way he runs, he simply knows how to get open. That was kind of neat to listen to, but here's the response from the Cleveland Browns on that. Joe Flacco was talking about it, and he said this. He said, I think anytime someone plays like that, you're definitely going to go into that game and say, all right, we're not getting beat by that guy again. All right, but here's what I love about what Flacco said. He said, it's not my job to worry too much about that. It's my job to go out there and play on Saturday and just do what the defense tells me. Pause. We're going to talk about that for a second. Do what the defense tells me. So originally my thought process was I'm going to make a video about how the Texans have to completely change their defense and how this is going to be the Elijah Moore game, how this is going to be the David Njoku game, how this is going to be a game where we need to run the football. All right? That might not be the case. It's not his job to worry too much about that. It's his job to go out there on Saturday and do what the defense tells him to do. That's what Joe said. He said, and you don't want to overthink it either. You don't want to take your head off of Amari just because you think they're going to have some gigantic plan for them. We got to be ready for everything. Here's the thing about Joe Flacco. He's 38 years old. Is he 39 by now? I know he's turning 39 at some point in the playoffs. All right, so here's Joe Flacco. He's 38. He's been in the NFL for like 15 years, right? This is year 15 or 16, something ridiculous like that. He has seen every defense. He has seen every coverage. He has seen every trick in the book. And what he has shown this year is that he's willing to trust what he sees and sling it. And that has resulted in a lot of touchdowns. It's also resulted in a few interceptions. But he has shown, all right, fine. If David Njoku is the one that they're going to miss, I'm going to let David Njoku have a big game. If Amari Cooper, if they're not going to double team him, fine. I'll throw it to Coop. No problem. I'll let him go off. If I need to check to a run, great. I'll do that. What we haven't seen is that third receiver. All right, in the first game that he played, he attempted 12 passes Elijah Moore's way. 12. Elijah Moore caught 4 of them. Caught 4. I think there is a world in which the Texans can take away Cooper. I don't know how they take away Cooper and Njoku, and if they do, there's a world where either Ford out of the backfield or Elijah Moore or someone else that we're not necessarily expecting is going to have a big day. And I think that it does not even matter to Joe Flacco. I don't think he cares. Like, Cooper probably cares. I'm sure he does, but I don't think Flacco cares. And here's the good news. The expectation is that Cooper will be back and ready to roll for the playoff matchup against the Texans. I can't find anybody else. And I just realized I had our Sports Talk Detroit background on this. Sorry. Don't worry. I'll get that fixed for y'all. All right. But, like, am I the only one who can't find any news on Cooper and if he's actually hurt? I know he sat out of practice again. I know he's missed 2 weeks, and I know he definitely missed last week. What we were being told was because, they were resting starters. All right, but once again, you have a laundry list on Tuesday of players that did not play. I'm not worried about Bitonio, not injury related. All right? Here's the thing. Cooper still got that. Not injury-related, rest, heal. Am I the only one who's confused by this? Am I the only one who doesn't understand how I miss practice? It's not injury-related. All right? Myles Garrett, it's not injury-related. It's not injury-related. It's not injury-related. Also, he has a shoulder and hamstring injury. Amari Cooper, it's not injury-related. Also, he has a hurt heel. Joel Bitonio, it's not injury related. Also, he has a oblique and knee injury. David Njoku, it's not injury related. Also, his knee is bad. All right, so here's the only way when I see not injury related. All I know is that, all right, they should be back at practice. So be looking on the lookout. At the time I'm recording this, Wednesday morning, we don't have the practice report from Wednesday. Let's see what Wednesday, Thursday show. Is Cooper getting a limited practice? If he gets an LP here on Wednesday and an FP, so limited practice, full practice, we're in business, baby. All right, he should be good. Remember, he hurt his heel during the game that he went off. He didn't come out. He kept playing. All right, isn't this kind of Coop? He just plays injured all the time. Like, that's what he does. So I'll be back. I'll be doing a video on Friday probably, and we'll be talking about good news. The Browns are getting back their injured players or something like that. And look, that's all we can do. There's no big, crazy news things going on. The Browns have a talented enough roster that they don't need to go out and pick up a bunch of different players in this week. Thank goodness, because last thing you want to do is try and pick up a player off free agency for a playoff game. You don't want to be in the situation the Dolphins are in where they lost their 2 edge rushers, and now they're picking up Bruce Irvin and Ingram. I don't know. They were picking up a couple of different guys. It was very interesting. But Browns have a talented roster. They're ready to go. And by the way, the Texans are loaded with injuries too. So hope you enjoyed the video. Like it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Browns Lions Super Bowl. See you there. Peace.